COVID is still here, and there's still a ripple effect to how COVID is impacting organizations and how they approach innovation. And I think what's interesting is you'll just see the distribution that there are some folks that say, not much. It hasn't impacted anything at all. And a lot of those folks, they didn't wait for a significant crisis to drive their innovation priorities. They were able to stay on strategy, not be incredibly reactive, and also their budgets weren't impacted greatly because of that. And that, of course, varies by industry. But generally, what we're seeing in that kind of not much is they were able to really stay the course. They didn't have to shift and pivot and change their budget, change their focus. They were able to stay on strategy. The somewhats, are interesting as well, because what they were able to do in some cases is what they're saying is, hey, we didn't have to change significantly, but it enabled us to do some things differently, and we don't necessarily want to go back to the way things were. And I think that's interesting because when you say somewhat, it could mean that it's more in your control, or maybe it was a small budget shift or a small pivot, but it wasn't significant, didn't take you significantly off track. And then when you see significant and extreme impact, one of the things I think is interesting here as well is this doesn't necessarily mean bad. The impacts weren't all negative. In some cases, yes. I mean, people responded and said, my entire innovation budget was cut. We had to totally shift. Our teams, are not able to, they were disbanded. That would be kind of the full extreme, very negative view. But some are saying, look, the impact was great because our dollars increased as our spending as an organization went down because we weren't traveling. We were able to do more. We were able to collaborate more through digital platforms. It forced us to be more agile, and we were able to get more done. So I think what's interesting about this isn't necessarily bad to worse or good to bad here. In each one of these, the impact could be positive or negative. And I think, again, it depends on the organization that we saw, the industries responding. And some really good examples in the report, if you've had a chance to read the verbatims, just to see, again, that varied view of, extreme impact wasn't necessarily terrible.